At my baby shower, Mom gave my sister a fully paid $32,000 Europe honeymoon because her love story matters more. Then she turned to me. Don't forget mortgage is due Friday, $3,200. I smiled, packed the diaper gifts in silence, and left that night. For months later, 41 missed calls. One labeled Mom, urgent. My name is Maya. I'm 30, the older daughter, the one who has it together. I manage budgets at a small nonprofit, grants, invoices, spreadsheets that make my eyes buzz. I live in a two-bedroom condo with a dishwasher that sounds like a train and a plant I forget to water. I make lists on sticky notes. Milk, prenatal vitamins, call insurance, brief. I'm 8 months pregnant with my first child. I've already washed the tiny onesies and folded them into neat stacks like it will charm the future into being kind. My sister, Bella, is 26 and has always been the sun in our house. She is beautiful in a way that works like a coupon. People offer her discounts on mistakes. She teaches yoga for the vibe and posts videos about green juice. When Bella laughs, rooms lean toward her. When I laugh, someone says, "Oh, Maya, I didn't see you there." Mom raised us mostly alone after Dad left. She is a force. She can make a holiday out of a Tuesday and a guilt trip out of a question. Her favorite sentence is, "Family is everything." Her second favorite is, "We'll figure it out." Translation, Maya will figure it out. My baby shower was at her house. Balloons. Onesie decorating station. A cake with tiny gold feet. People I love crowded into the living room with gifts that made me feel like I was standing in a soft avalanche. Mom had a microphone. She loves a microphone. Before we cut cake, she said, eyes shining, "I have a surprise." Everyone oohed. Bella put her hand over her heart like she'd been practicing sincerity in a mirror. Mom pulled out a glossy folder. "For Bella and Lucas," she announced. "A fully paid Europe honeymoon, $32,000. Rome, Paris, Santorini. Because her love story matters more right now." Clapping. Whistles. Bella squealed and hugged Mom like a movie. I stood there with a diaper cake in my hands and nodded like my neck was a hinge. I felt my baby kick. I put the diaper cake down so I wouldn't drop it. Mom turned to me. Her voice switched into practical. "Don't forget, mortgage is due Friday, $3,200. The room blurred for a second. The word mortgage floated like a fishing bobber. She meant her mortgage. The one I had helped with for going on 3 years. The one that had my temporary auto pay attached because late fees are cruel. Bella grinned at me over Mom's shoulder. "We'll send you pics from Paris," she said, like a kindness. Aunt Lena laughed. "Older sisters are so reliable," she said. "You'll be fine." I smiled. I packed the diaper gifts in silence. I hugged people who smelled like perfume and champagne. I rubbed my belly, said thank you, took photos, and washed 2 baking sheets because my hands needed to do something that made sense. At 9, I loaded the trunk. At 10, I texted Mom, "Home safe." She sent a heart and a calendar emoji. At midnight, I lay in my bed and stared at the ceiling fan as if it was counting down with me. At 1, I got up. I opened my laptop. I stared at the bank app. That night, I left. For months later, I had 41 missed calls. One labeled Mom, urgent. It didn't start with a baby shower. It started with allowances and what counted as help. When I was 12, I wanted a used bike. Mom said, "You pay half, you'll take care of it." I babysat and rolled coins. When Bella wanted a phone at 12, Mom said, "Girls need to stay safe," and put it on a plan for the girls that somehow used my card for setup and never gave it back. At 16, I worked weekends at a bakery. Flour in my hair, burns on my wrists. Bella worked a month at the mall and quit because standing is trauma for arches. When I brought home an A, Mom said, "Of course." When Bella brought home a C in a subject with glitter, Mom said, "School doesn't measure your shine." Money was a story, and the moral was this: if Bella needed it, there was a way. If I needed it, there was a lesson. After Dad left, late fees became part of our soundtrack. Red envelopes. Gentle voices on the phone turning sharp. At 19, I took over the calls because I learned how to breathe through hold music and say, "Can we waive the penalty this once?" I got good at the word hardship. I signed Mom up for autopay on my card, just until we get ahead. At 24, I got the nonprofit job and a raise that felt like a misprint. I made a budget that had categories like emergency and future. Mom made eyes at the emergency. The roof leak was an emergency. The car with the check engine light was an emergency. Bella's lash certification fee was an emergency because it's an investment. We laughed. I paid. I told myself, this is love with receipts. Mom's mortgage was the big one. The loan reset. The rate went up. The payment jumped. Just for a few months, she said. I'll pay you back when Bella's wedding is settled. I set the auto pay and told myself it was temporary, like a diet you mean for a week. $3,200 gone on the first Friday of the month. Mom sent heart emojis. Bella sent, "You're an angel." I screenshotted nothing. I deleted my kindness ledger in my notes app because it made me feel like I was counting swallows. It wasn't just money. It was time. DMV lines. Dentist copays. Sitting in waiting rooms for Bella's emergency hair appointment because the colorist only takes cash. Carrying chairs at family parties because you have strong arms, honey. When I tried to say no, Mom got watery eyes like a faucet with a trick handle. You think I'm a bad mother, she'd say. I'd pay something to make it stop. I bought my two-bedroom condo 3 years ago. I cried at closing because the key felt like a permission slip to breathe. The next month, Mom asked if Bella could use my second bedroom temporarily while she and Lucas stabilized. 2 weeks turned into 6 months. It's just until after the engagement party, Mom said. Don't be difficult. I raised the thermostat to the number I paid for and found it one click lower. I labeled my food and watched it evaporate. Bella posted a story from my balcony. City views, baby. No tag for my name. When Bella got engaged, Mom treated it like a national holiday. We had a binder with tabs. We had meetings with charcuterie. We had sentences like, "We can't be cheap," and "It's only once," and "This is a family production." Family production meant, Maya, get your card. I set a boundary that felt like a fence built out of straws. My gift is $2,500, I said. That's what I can do. Mom blinked like I'd said a rude word. Darling, that doesn't even cover photography. Bella laughed. Maya, she said, like she was calming a child. Think bigger. I tried to say it again. $2,500. I said it slow, as if speed had ever been the problem. Mom pressed her hand to her chest. You know our house payment is brutal this year, she said. Be a team player. She meant, keep the auto pay. Why am I paying your mortgage? I asked polite. Mom's face turned into that face. Because I raised you, she said. Because family is everything. Because your sister needs a start. My baby needs a start, I said, touching my belly. Bella rolled her eyes. Don't make this about you, she said, flipping her hair into a position that looked expensive. I had 1,000 tiny pictures like that in my head. Christmas last year when I gave Mom a winter coat and she said, "Can you return it for cash?" Because Bella needed a deposit for her honeymoon someday. The time Mom gave Bella my vacuum because you work too much to vacuum. The day Mom told me to smile more so I wouldn't scare luck away. Still, I kept paying. Not because I'm a saint. Because stopping felt like pushing a swing and letting go while the kid is still in the air. I made a list for baby things and crossed items off with satisfaction that felt like crumbs. I folded the stroller into my trunk 3 times to prove I could. I looked at my savings and pretended it was enough. The baby shower was supposed to be a circle of love with cake. It became a math problem with balloons. Mom's announcement about the $32,000 honeymoon was presented as romance. But it was logistics. It was proof that money is a river that flows toward the brightest light. Then she turned to me with, "Don't forget mortgage is due Friday, $3,200, like I was a line item on the program. I could have said a speech. I didn't. I smiled. I packed diapers into my trunk. I hugged. I left. It is funny what you can do when no one is looking at you. I didn't sleep. I lay in the dark and listened to the dishwasher knock like a visitor. My baby rolled once, like he was checking the locks from the inside. At 1:06 a.m., I sat up, opened my laptop, and made 3 tabs line up. Bank, email, a document titled 90 days. Tab 1, bank. Autopay, OFF. The mortgage draft that left my account on the first Friday of every month, canceled. I took my card off Mom's water bill, gas, internet. I'd put them on temporarily. Temporary has a way of setting up furniture. Tab 2, email. I wrote to Mom and CC'd myself. Subject, boundaries plus plan, next 90 days. Body, I love you. I'm becoming a mother in a month. Effective immediately. I'm no longer paying your mortgage or any bills. If you need help budgeting, I can meet twice a month for 1 hour, Thursdays at 6. For the next 90 days, contact by email only. Emergencies, hospital, police call, I'll answer. I will not discuss Bella's honeymoon. My baby registry is attached. M. I wrote to Bella. Subject, honeymoon plus money. Body, my gift remains $2,500. Please direct any additional requests to vendors, not me. Do not use my address, name, or accounts for your wedding or travel. If you need help building a budget, I'll meet twice a month by video for 1 hour. Email only. I wrote to my HR department about switching to a new direct deposit account I'd opened that night at a different bank. I wrote to my building manager to reserve the loading dock because I didn't know if I was moving, but I wanted the option. I wrote to myself a note. You're allowed to do this. Tab 3. Document. What I will no longer do / what I am willing to do. No more autopays for other adults. No co-signing. No last-minute emergency transfers. No group chats about money. Will. 2 dinners a month. Budgets if asked respectfully. Emergency rides. I printed it. Paper feels real. Next, I called a property manager I'd bookmarked months ago, the night after Mom called me selfish for asking Bella to buy her own shampoo. I left a voicemail at 1:24 a.m., which felt wrong and also correct. Hi, I own a condo with a spare room I'm taking back. I need a lease drawn up for any future occupant. I need scripts for boundaries. Call me at 9. I sat on the floor and sorted the baby gifts from the shower, not because I needed to, but because folding tiny socks was a religion and I needed a prayer. I made a pile for returns I'd never get to, a pile for the hospital bag, a pile for later. At 2:07 a.m., a text from Bella. Can you Venmo me $600? We owe the deposit on the photographer tomorrow and Mom is tapped. I'll pay you back Friday. Friday was the mortgage day she reminded me of in front of everyone. I put my phone face down on the bed and let the glow die. At 2:44 a.m., a text from Mom. I hope you didn't take that honeymoon moment the wrong way. We want you to have magic too. Did you see the diaper cake? Also mortgage, Friday. A winky face. I pictured her asleep afterward, proud. At 3 a.m., I sent both emails. My finger hovered, then pushed like a small door. At 7:30 a.m., Mom replied, "This is cruel. We are family. You're letting your hormones make you mean. Call me." Bella replied, "Haha, boundaries? You're obsessed with rules. Give it a day. We'll talk." I typed, "Email only." I typed, "This isn't about revenge. This is about closure." I did not send that one yet. It was for later. I kept it in my mouth. At 9:02 a.m., the property manager called. Her name was Irene. She had a voice you trust because it's not trying to sell you anything. "Breathe," she said, after I gave her a summary. "We'll clean the paper first. Does your mom live with you?" "No," I said. "She lives in her own place." "Good," she said. "We'll remove your card from anything not yours. We'll set up a P.O. box for any mail confusion. We'll draft a notice to your sister about the spare room if needed. Next time she asks for emergency money, the answer is, 'I've budgeted for my baby.'" I cried. I didn't expect to. She waited like she had 1,000 clients who did that. At noon, I dropped off Mom's house key at my own mental door and closed it. Metaphor, but it felt physical. I took a walk. I ate something green. I wrote a list. Birth plan. Car seat. No to mortgage. Yes to lunch with myself. It looked silly. It helped. That night, I slept. The dishwasher finally sounded like a machine again instead of a question. The next morning, I woke up to 3 voicemails, 5 paragraphs from Mom, 8 from Bella, 2 from Aunt Lena, and an email from a florist I hadn't hired thanking me for the deposit. I replied to the florist, "That charge was unauthorized. Please reverse." I forwarded the email to my new bank's fraud department. I sent Bella a 1-sentence email. "Do not use my name or card with vendors." She replied, "It's just a hold. Relax. You're being a lot." I sent her the fraud claim number and typed, "Email only." By Friday, my bank account was still mine. No $3,200 left it. No reminder text got answered. No calendar emoji told me what to be. Friday night, I packed a small bag and stayed with my friend Kay for the weekend because I needed to hear a different dishwasher sound. On Sunday, I returned home to a sticky note on my door. "We stopped by. Call US." In Mom's handwriting that can make any note feel like a fine. I didn't call. 3 weeks later, I had a baby with dark hair and a scream that sounded healthy. I named him Isaiah. He fit into the crook of my arm like a sentence that had been waiting to be said. I turned my phone face down for the first 3 days of Isaiah's life. I learned his smell. I learned the way my body could hold pain and love at the same time without breaking. Then, 4 months after the baby shower, he was sleeping on my chest, and my phone lit up like a bad Christmas tree. 41 missed calls. 1 labeled Mom, urgent. I took a breath. I opened my email. The subject lines told the story before the words did. "Mom, call me now. Mom, this is an emergency. Bella, seriously, Maya. Aunt Lena, This is going too far. Unknown number. Notice to pay or quit. Mortgage servicer. I opened Mom's first. They're saying the house is late, she wrote. We got a scary letter. I thought you set the auto pay. Why would you put us at risk like this? Call me. I opened Bella's. Did you cancel the florist hold? She's trying to say the card bounced. Also, Mom is having a panic attack. You're a mom now. Be compassionate. I held Isaiah and felt my chest turn into a map of heat. This was the urgent. The river had changed direction. I was no longer a bank. I was a dam. I answered with an email I'd written in drafts for 3 months. Subject, next steps plus options. Mom, I removed my card from your bills on date and reminded you by email. I am not paying your mortgage. You need to contact your servicer to set up a plan. If you want help building a budget, I can meet Thursday at 6 for 1 hour. If you would like temporary assistance, I can offer a one-time gift of $500. I will not be an ongoing source of payments. For the next 90 days, please use email. Emergencies, medical, police call. I'll answer. Love, M. I expected the storm. It arrived. Mom replied in 5 minutes. I'm your mother. How dare you let us get to this? We housed you. We fed you. You're cruel. What will people say? Aunt Lena chimed in. Unbelievable. After all Bella did for your shower. Bella sent a single line. If the house goes, that's on you. I wrote back to Bella. If the house goes, that's on the adults who signed the loan. I deleted and typed something softer. I hope it doesn't come to that. If you want to help Mom, this is a good time. Mom called again. I let it ring. She texted call me, like it was a spell. At noon, Mom's mortgage servicer called me because I had been the contact person. The woman on the phone had a headset voice that sounded like math. We're calling regarding address, she said. The payment is 30 days late. Would you like to make a payment today? I felt heat in my face. Please remove my number from this account, I said, as calm as a polite fire. I am not an owner or payer. She asked for confirmation. I gave it. We'll note the file, she said. I emailed Mom. I removed my number from your loan file. It is your responsibility to call them. An hour later, the urgent call logged in again. I stared at the screen and pictured the little machine inside the phone that made the noise and decided I didn't know at my blood pressure. I pressed decline. The property manager, Irene, sent me a script for Mom. Call the servicer, ask for a repayment plan, ask about deferral, ask about hardship. It's not glamorous, but it's doable. I copied it, pasted it, sent it to Mom. At 3 p.m., Bella posted a story with a black screen and white text. Some people forget who was there for them. The group chat buzzed with hearts. I muted it for a year. Isaiah slept. I washed bottles. I watched the clock hit 5 and felt nothing withdraw from my account, which felt like a new holiday nobody else celebrates. 2 days later, Mom wrote, they said we can do a plan if we pay $1,600 by Friday. Can you cover that, and I'll pay you back? The sentence, I'll pay you back, needs a museum of all the times it lived and died. I wrote, I can gift $500. That's my offer. I pressed send before I could write a paragraph about the years I'd kept her house from becoming a letter in a window. She wrote back, fine. It's something. You could do more. I sent $500 and changed nothing about my rules. The next week, another wave. The power bill is due. The water. The internet. Each arrived like a little soldier from a war I was not fighting anymore. I replied with links to payment plans, not money. Bella wrote, you really changed. I wrote, yes. And then the part one didn't expect, quiet. After a month of drama that tasted like old pennies, there was nothing. Mom stopped writing paragraphs. Bella stopped posting black screens. I went to the park and counted ducks instead of debts. I did small things that felt like wealth. I bought brand-name diapers without doing math. I put $100 into a savings account labeled Isaiah's first summer. I slept when he slept. I ate on a plate. Then came the 41 missed calls day. Not because of foreclosure. Because reality finally arrived at Mom's house with a stamp on it. A 30-day letter from the servicer pinned to the door like a bad invitation. Aunt Lena sent me a photo. Look what you did, she wrote. I stared at the photo and felt a feeling that wasn't shame and wasn't joy. It was relief that the ground wasn't a trampoline. It was a floor. I wrote to Mom. I'll meet you at the bank Thursday at 2. We'll ask for a plan. If they require a contribution, I can bring $200. But I will not be your auto pay ever again. She wrote, fine. We sat with a loan officer under a fluorescent light. Mom's voice was small in a way I had never heard. We thought my daughter was paying, she said. The officer glanced at me. I didn't explain. I didn't apologize. I asked for a hardship plan and got one. It wasn't magic. It was math. Mom signed the paper with a hand that trembled. She didn't look at me when she left. That was okay. Bella sent a single text that night. You could have done this sooner instead of being dramatic. I typed 8 replies, deleted them, and sent one sentence. I stopped being your plan. Small things changed. Mom got a cheaper phone plan. Bella got a second yoga class that actually paid. Aunt Lena stopped tagging me in memes about ungrateful children. When Mom asked me to pick up paper towels, I said, no, but I can send a link for delivery. When Bella asked for $400 just until Friday, I wrote, no, she wrote, you're heartless. I wrote nothing. I took my baby to the doctor and paid the copay with my card and didn't dip into my emergency for it. It felt like a new room in my house. We bought a rug for tummy time. We spilled on it. We lived. 4 months after the shower, when Mom's urgent calls started and ended, I learned that boundaries are not dramatic. They're boring and strong. They make people adjust because they don't move. I printed one more piece of paper, what I can do/what I won't. I taped it inside my kitchen cabinet where I keep salt. 2 weeks later, Mom emailed, dinner Thursday? It was 3 words. No sermon. I wrote back, yes. 6 to 7. Roses. Roses is a diner that serves meatloaf with confidence and calls everyone sweetie. I got there early and sat in a booth that had seen fights it did not care about. Mom arrived in a sweater I'd bought her last winter. She looked smaller, like she'd misplaced some performance and didn't miss it. We ordered coffee. We talked about Isaiah's cheeks and the fact that he laughs at ceiling fans. We talked about a neighbor's dog that escapes. We didn't talk about the $32,000 honeymoon or the $3,200 mortgage. We sat like 2 people who remembered they were people. After the pie, Mom took a breath, the kind you take before you say a thing you don't like saying. I pushed you too hard, she said. I thought we were doing family. I was doing something else. She looked at her hands. I'm sorry. I didn't make it cinematic. I didn't stand and bless her. I said, thank you. I meant it. I still wish you'd told me in a softer way, she added, because honesty in our house comes with a little garnish. At the baby shower, I smiled. I said, I packed gifts in silence. I left that night instead of making a scene. That was my soft way. She nodded. I see that now. We set rules with napkins as props. Email for money, I said. 2 dinners a month. No surprise visits. Emergencies are hospital or police. She repeated them back like a student who wanted an A. We paid the bill, split down the middle. She didn't try to slide it toward me. I noticed. I filed the noticing in a folder labeled Progress. Bella didn't come. She sent a text later. Whatever. I replied, I love you. I won't fund you. She sent a heart. Small, but it was not a grenade. Bella and Lucas sent a postcard from Paris. It said, wish you were here, which is a sentence that means different things depending on the day. I taped it to the fridge below Isaiah's scribble. He smiled at the Eiffel Tower because it looked like a ladder he could climb later. Mom sends me photos of her meals now, beans and rice, and texts, we're okay, which lands like a new word she's learning to like. Sometimes she asks for $20 and I say no, and she doesn't punish me or herself. Sometimes she asks for a ride to the doctor and I say yes, and we listen to the radio and don't make everything a poem. Isaiah sleeps in his crib for 3 hours at a time. It feels like winning. The dishwasher sounds like a dishwasher. The plant is still alive. I put $50 a month into a savings account labeled Field Trips. I open it sometimes to look at the number and think, it's ours. I thought the unforgettable thing would be the day I turned off an autopay and watched the river find its real course. It wasn't. The unforgettable thing was smaller. A Thursday dinner with pie, a bill split evenly, a mother who said, I'm sorry, and a cabinet door whispering back my own rules.